Before we pray, let's take a breath together. And just for a moment, listen. Have you ever noticed how the whole shape of a day can be decided in its first 60 seconds, before your feet even touch the floor? Something inside you has usually already made a choice. To reach for your phone, to start replaying yesterday's argument, to count the hours until you can rest again, or to simply be still and remember that you are not waking up alone. I want to invite you into that second option this morning, not because it's easy, not because I always manage it myself, but because I've learned, slowly and imperfectly, that the way I begin a day almost always becomes the way I carry it. There's a quiet verse tucked into the Psalms that I return to more than almost any other. In the morning, Lord, you hear my voice. In the morning I lay my requests before you and wait expectantly. As Psalm 5, verse 3 puts it. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say the psalmist woke up feeling strong. It doesn't say his circumstances had already changed. It simply says that before anything else happened, he brought his voice to God, and then he waited, with expectation, for what God would do with the hours ahead. That's the invitation this morning. Not perfection, not a burst of feeling, just a voice, lifted early, trusting that someone is listening. I think of a man I'll simply call Daniel, because his story could belong to almost anyone. Daniel drives a delivery route that starts before sunrise. Most mornings, he told me once, he sits in his truck in the driveway for exactly 3 minutes before he turns the key. Not scrolling, not checking the weather app, just sitting there in the dark, hands on the wheel, saying the same short sentence out loud every single time. God, before this day gets a hold of me, I want to belong to you first. He's not a pastor. He's not someone who has his life figured out. He told me there have been seasons, a strained marriage, a diagnosis in the family, months where money was tighter than he wanted to admit, when those 3 minutes in the driveway were the only quiet he got all day. There was one winter, he said, when he and his wife barely spoke over breakfast for weeks, not out of anger exactly, just exhaustion, the kind that settles into a marriage when both people are tired and neither one knows how to say it out loud. He remembers sitting in that driveway one particular morning, hands still on the wheel, admitting to God that he didn't know how to fix his own home, let alone make it through his route that day. He kept praying anyway, not because it fixed everything immediately. It didn't. The bills didn't disappear. The hard conversations still had to happen, and some of them took months to have. But something in him started to change before his circumstances did. He said it slowly, almost embarrassed to admit it. I stopped waking up afraid of the day. I started waking up curious about what God might do in it. Eventually, he told me, he found the courage to say one honest sentence to his wife that he'd been avoiding for weeks. It didn't solve everything overnight, but it was the beginning, and he traces that small moment of courage back to those quiet minutes before the ignition turned. That's what seeking God first actually does. It doesn't erase the difficulty ahead of you. It changes who you're facing it with. Maybe your mornings don't look like Daniel's driveway. Maybe yours look like a hospital hallway, or a kitchen full of dishes from last night, or an empty side of the bed that used to have someone in it. Wherever you are right now, this prayer is for you. Jesus said something in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 that I used to read as a nice suggestion, and now I read as a survival strategy. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Look closely at the order of that sentence. Not seek him only, and ignore everything else you need. Seek him first, and let everything else fall into its proper place behind that. I used to have it backwards. I would spend my mental energy first on the problem, then on the to-do list, then on my worries, and somewhere near the bottom of that list, if there was time, I'd squeeze in a few rushed words to God. And I noticed something. The days I prayed last were the days I felt most exhausted by evening, even if nothing especially hard had happened. It was as though I had been carrying the whole day on my own shoulders and only remembered, hours too late, that I didn't have to. Here is the original thought I want to leave with you this morning, because I believe it's one worth carrying into tomorrow and the next day too. Seeking God first is not a scheduling decision. It is not simply about praying before breakfast instead of after. It is a posture of the heart that says, before I let this day shape me, I want to be shaped by you. It's the difference between walking into a room and asking, what do I need to survive here? And walking into a room already knowing whose you are. Mark's Gospel tells us something small but remarkable about Jesus. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place, where he prayed, as Mark chapter 1, verse 35 tells us. This wasn't a quiet season in his ministry. The verses right before this describe crowds pressing in on him, people bringing their sick, their demon oppressed, their desperate need. Late into the night, he had every reason to sleep in. He had every human excuse to skip that morning appointment with the Father. He didn't skip it, and I think that tells us something about what real spiritual strength actually looks like. It doesn't look like never needing rest with God. It looks like refusing to let a busy, demanding, exhausting life talk you out of that rest. If the Son of God, fully able to handle any crowd, still needed those dark, quiet hours before dawn, then you and I, with our smaller strength and our heavier hearts, need them even more. So this morning, we're not just saying words, we're following a pattern that Jesus himself walked in. Let's step into prayer now, together. Lord, before I ask you for a single thing, I want to simply come, not performing gratitude I don't yet feel, not pretending my heart is lighter than it is, just coming as I actually am this morning, tired in places, unsure in others, and quietly hopeful that you are still near. Thank you for the breath filling my lungs right now, ordinary as it feels. Thank you for another sunrise. Even on days I didn't ask for one, I know that nothing about this morning was owed to me, and yet you gave it anyway. I confess that some mornings I reach for my phone before I reach for you. I confess that worry often gets the first word in my day, long before praise does. I'm not asking you to be impressed by my discipline, because honestly, I don't have much of it yet. I'm asking you to meet me exactly where I am, distracted, a little anxious, still learning what it means to seek you first, and to be patient with me the way you always have been. Lord, I want today to be different. Not because I'll suddenly become someone else, but because I'm choosing, in this small, quiet moment, to put you ahead of the noise. Take first place in my thoughts before the emails start. Take first place in my heart before the demands of the day start pulling at it. I don't need a perfect morning. I need your presence in an imperfect one. Father, there are things I've been holding on to that were never meant for my hands alone. Some of it is small. A conversation I keep replaying. A decision I can't stop second-guessing. Some of it is heavier. A diagnosis that hasn't gone away. A relationship that feels like it's slowly drifting. A bill that's due before I know how I'll cover it. I think about Hannah in the temple, weeping so quietly that Eli mistook her grief for drunkenness. As we read in 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 10 through 15. Nobody around her understood what she was carrying. But you did. You saw past the silence into the actual ache. Lord, do that for me this morning. See past whatever face I put on for other people, and meet the real weight underneath it. I release the argument I haven't let go of yet. I release the fear about what the doctor might say. I release the quiet dread I feel about a conversation I know I need to have today but keep avoiding. I release the shame I still carry over a mistake from years ago that I thought I'd already forgiven myself for. You said to cast our anxiety on you, because you care for us. As it says in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Not because you need the information, you already know it, but because I need the release. So today, specifically, I'm naming these things and placing them in your hands. My finances, my health, the relationship that feels strained, the decision I keep putting off, carry what I was never strong enough to carry by myself. Lord, before I face a single choice today, I'm asking for wisdom now, while my mind is still quiet and unhurried. James tells us that if any of us lacks wisdom, we should ask you, who gives generously without finding fault. As we read in James chapter 1, verse 5. So I'm asking, I don't know exactly what decisions today will bring. Maybe something as small as how to respond to a short, frustrated text message, or maybe something as significant as whether to take a new opportunity or stay where I am. Give me discernment in the small moments, because I know those are usually the ones that shape my character the most, and give me courage in the larger ones, because I know fear has talked me out of good decisions before. Help me to know when to speak and when to simply stay quiet. Help me to recognize when patience is the wiser path, even when my instinct is to react immediately. If there's a conversation today that requires gentleness instead of defensiveness, put that gentleness in me before the conversation even begins. If there's a temptation to cut corners, to say something untrue, or to take the easier but less honest path, interrupt me before I take it. I don't want a day filled with regret by evening, so give me wisdom in the morning, so I don't need as much forgiveness by night. Lord, I think of the parent who has to decide, again, how to respond to a teenager who is testing every boundary in the house. Give them patience that doesn't come naturally in that moment. I think of the person sitting across a desk today from someone offering them a new job, unsure whether it's the right move or just a comfortable distraction from a harder decision they've been avoiding. Give them clarity. I think of the one who has to walk into a doctor's office today and ask a question they're afraid to hear the answer to. Give them steadiness. and give them someone kind on the other side of that conversation. None of us know exactly what today will ask of us, but you do. So I'm not asking you to remove the decisions. I'm asking you to walk into them with me, one at a time, the way you've promised to do for anyone who asks. 3.5. A prayer for the anxious and the weary. Father, before I move any further into this prayer, I want to pause here for a moment, because I know that for some of us, the heaviest thing we're carrying this morning isn't a decision at all. It's a feeling that won't seem to lift. It's the anxiety that shows up before the mind can even name what it's afraid of. It's the exhaustion that sleep doesn't seem to fix anymore. It's the quiet ache of grief that people expect to have ended by now, but hasn't. If that's you this morning, I don't want to rush past you. Philippians tells us not to be anxious about anything, but in every situation, through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, to present our requests to God, and that His peace, a peace that transcends understanding, will guard our hearts and minds, as we read in Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7. I used to read that verse and feel like it was asking me to simply stop feeling anxious, as if it were that easy. But I don't think that's what it's saying. I think it's saying, bring the anxiety here, out loud, specifically, and let His peace stand guard over you while the feeling itself is still working its way through. So Lord, for the one whose chest feels tight before they've even opened their eyes fully, steady their breathing this morning. For the one who is grieving someone the world has stopped checking in about, remind them that you haven't stopped noticing. For the one who feels like they're failing at everything quietly, behind closed doors, where no one can see, remind them that you see the effort even when no one applauds it. You are not far from the brokenhearted, as Psalm 34, verse 18 tells us. Be near to them exactly as you promised. Father, I want to bring specific people before you this morning. Not a vague blessing over everyone, but the actual faces I'm picturing right now. I think of the ones in my own home who are still asleep, unaware that I'm already praying their names. Watch over them today in ways I can't. If there's tension between us that hasn't been resolved, soften it. If there's distance that's grown quietly over months or years, begin closing it, even if just by an inch. I think of the friend who's been unusually quiet lately, the one I suspect is carrying more than they've said out loud. Give me the sensitivity to check on them today, instead of assuming they're fine because they haven't asked for help. I think of the family member walking through illness right now, the one whose name I whisper more than I say out loud. Lord, be near to them in the waiting room, in the treatment, in the long nights when sleep won't come easily. Give their doctors clarity and give their hearts peace that doesn't depend on the test results. I think, too, of the person who hurt me, the one it's easier to avoid praying for than to actually pray for. Teach me to forgive the way you've forgiven me, not because what happened was okay, but because carrying resentment has never once made me lighter. Bless these people specifically, Lord, in the specific places their lives actually are right now. Not a general blessing floating somewhere above them, but a real touch, right where they need it. I think, too, of the ones who are far from you right now, maybe without even realizing how far. A son who stopped talking about faith the way he used to. A daughter who says she believes in something, but has quietly stopped looking for you in the specifics. A friend who walked away from church after being hurt by people who claim to represent you, and never quite found their way back. Lord, I don't know how to fix any of that on my own. And honestly, it's not my job to fix it. It's yours to draw them, and mine simply to keep loving them without giving up. So draw them gently, not through guilt, not through pressure, but the way you've always drawn people, through a kindness that feels safe enough to lean into. And Lord, for the ones who have no one praying for them by name this morning, the ones sitting alone in waiting rooms, the ones scrolling through their phones at 2 a.m. because sleep won't come, the ones who feel forgotten even by the people who are supposed to remember them. Let this prayer somehow reach toward them too. You already know their names, even though I don't. Meet them there. Lord, whatever work fills my hours today, whether it's a job, caring for children, searching for employment, or simply getting through a hard season one task at a time, I want to do it as an offering to you, not just an obligation to get through. Colossians reminds me that whatever I do, I should work at it with all my heart, as though working for you rather than for people, as we read in Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. That changes something in me when I actually believe it. It means the ordinary, unnoticed parts of my day, the meeting nobody will remember, the dishes nobody will thank me for, the patience I show a difficult co-worker. All of it matters to you, even when it goes unnoticed by everyone else. Give me focus where my mind tends to scatter. Give me endurance for the parts of today that will feel repetitive or thankless. And where there's uncertainty about tomorrow, about whether this job will last, whether this season will change, whether the effort I'm putting in will ever be seen, remind me that you see what others overlook, and that faithfulness in hidden places is never wasted with you. If today brings an unexpected obstacle, help me respond with steadiness instead of panic. If today brings an unexpected door opening, help me recognize it and have the courage to walk through it. Either way, I want to hold this day with open hands, trusting that you are already present in whatever it brings. For the one who doesn't have work right now and feels the weight of that more than they let on, the applications that go unanswered, the interviews that don't lead anywhere, the quiet shame of feeling like a burden, Lord, I lift them specifically. Provision has never depended on how impressive a resume looks to you. Open a door that fits who they are, and give them the patience to keep believing one is coming, even on the mornings that patience feels almost impossible to hold on to. Father, as I step out of this quiet moment and into the noise of the day, I don't want to leave this hope behind me. I want to carry it into the traffic, into the inbox, into the conversation I've been dreading, into the waiting I still don't have an answer for. I'm reminded that your mercies are new every morning, as we read in Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 through 23, which means today isn't a continuation of yesterday's failure. It's a fresh page, still blank, still full of what you might do with it. I don't have to earn a clean start. You've already given me one. So here is what I choose today. I choose to seek you before I seek answers. I choose to bring my honest heart instead of a performance. I choose to release what isn't mine to carry. and to trust you with the decisions, the people, and the work still ahead of me. If you've been carrying something heavy into this morning, fear about a diagnosis, tension in a relationship, uncertainty about money, grief that hasn't fully healed, I want you to know that this prayer was for you too. Not a formula, not a performance, just an honest invitation to seek Him first. The way Daniel does in his driveway. The way Jesus did in the dark hours before dawn. I don't know what your specific driveway looks like this morning. Maybe it really is a car. Engine off. 3 minutes before you have to walk into a building that drains you. Maybe it's a bathroom. Door locked. The only privacy you get in a house full of people who need things from you. Maybe it's a hospital chair beside someone you love, where the machines are the only sound and you don't have words left to pray. Only a tired kind of ache that you somehow still understand better than I can explain it. Wherever it is, God already knows the address. He doesn't need you to find better words. He just needs you to show up, the way you are, and let Him meet you there. Here's the thought I want to leave with you, the one I hope stays with you longer than this video does. Seeking God first isn't about having your morning perfectly together. Daniel didn't wait until his marriage was healed to start praying in that driveway. The praying came first, and the healing followed slowly, unevenly, over time. Don't wait for peace before you seek Him. Seek Him, and let the peace come the way it usually does. Quietly, gradually, and often only visible when you look back months later and realize how far you've come. May the Lord meet you exactly where you are this morning. May His peace go ahead of you into every conversation, every decision, and every quiet worry you haven't spoken out loud yet. And may you walk into today not carrying it alone, but carried by Him. If this prayer spoke to something in your heart this morning, I'd love to hear it. Leave a word below about what you're bringing to God today, whether that's one sentence or just the word Amen. And if you know someone who needs a reminder to seek Him first today, this might be the moment to send it their way. May the grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you, today and always. Amen.